makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a review on the new Plouise Secret Sinner palette. I was lucky enough to receive this a little bit early because I signed up for an online class through Plouise several months ago where I knew that I was going to get the next collection as a goodie bag. It was a very exciting, a fun experience. I feel like I learned a lot, and also I get to share the new products with you guys a little bit early. We have like an exclusive, I don't know what to call it, but it's very exciting to me. So I just wanted to mention that really quickly because I did get questions asking if I was sent PR from Plouise, and I wasn't, unfortunately. So maybe one day, but I did pay for this with my own money, but it was really a great experience. So before we jump into the actual review really quickly, I wanted to mention that I feel like I'm always trying to improve on my channel, and one thing that has always bugged me is I feel like my reviews are not thorough enough. Like, I feel like I have a hard time explaining things, or afterwards I always think like, oh, I forgot to mention this, or I forgot to mention that. So I actually sat down and I created a list of what to talk about in every review to cover all my bases. So I just wanted to share it with you guys really quickly, and you can let me know if there's anything else you feel like I'm missing, or that would be a really great just component to add to each review. So really quickly, I'm going to be talking about the price, the cruelty-free status, which 99.9% of the time is going to be cruelty-free because I am a cruelty-free person. And next I'm going to talk about the shipping, and then I'm going to talk about the amount of product, the finish of the product, the lasting power, the pros, the cons, and comparing it to other products similar to it, and also doing swatches if I have not already done them. However, I will say for this video, I mean, I guess I could just insert swatches in, like, it's not really a big deal. I already have the footage, but I did do an entire first impression on the new Secret Sinner collection. Also uploaded a full face of makeup using only UK brands where I use the Secret Sinner palette. And very exciting, on Friday I am going to be posting a week of the Plouise Secret Sinner palette, which is going to be 5 looks using it, and they are all super beautiful, super colorful. So I hope you guys are excited for that. Like I said, it'll be up on Friday. I wanted to post the review first. So if you are wondering what's happening on my face right now, how I got this look, that will be in Friday's video, so just stay tuned. And for now, let's just go ahead and jump on in. So here is the palette outer packaging, which we'll talk more about packaging in a little bit, but I just want to give you guys a rundown of the palette. But I feel like I have not showed you the inside yet in this video, and you just have to see how stunning these shades are. So beautiful. So first off, Plouise is a cruelty-free brand. The only thing I'm not sure about right now is that they came out with a new luxury lash, and I was very curious to know what the lashes were made of. I asked several times in the Plouise live class because it was on YouTube, and you could comment into the comment section, and I like copy and pasted several times and I never got the question answered. I don't know if they saw it or didn't see it or what, but I'm really hoping that it is not mink, because I feel like if you are selling mink, you're not truly cruelty free. It would break my heart because I really love Plouise and I want to keep supporting them. And the other thing you guys inquired about, which I didn't even think of, there are feathers in the packaging, and so a few of you were wondering if these are vegan, if they are actual feathers, and they are completely synthetic, handcrafted, not an animal byproduct at all. So just wanted to let you guys know that. As far as the pricing goes, the palette does retail for 40 pounds. I don't normally like converting it myself into like US dollars because it can be different, especially depending on your bank. Like, for example, I'm going to do a video soon on buying international makeup and my experience. But one thing to note is that you can go on Google and you can convert like from pounds to dollars and think it's one thing, and then you can go to PayPal and it's like $10 more, because the currency, like the rate can be different. I feel like the Google rate is always so much better, and then I go to PayPal and I'm like, okay, like where can I find a promo code? So I did want to mention that really quickly. So very much like a high-end price point. And the last time I ordered from Plouise, the shipping was 10 pounds. It didn't take that long to get to me, and it was wrapped pretty poorly. Like, it was in just like a flimsy like little envelope. I was so shocked that the original Plouise palette was not broken when it got to me, because there was like one little thing of bubble wrap and that was it. And to go like international shipping, it was kind of surprising, but it did not break, so I guess it works out. I did mention in my first impression video that the shipping for the class was like 40 pounds, which I know is crazy, and it's because they wanted, I guess, they had decided to do like 2-day shipping, 1-day shipping, so everyone got it around the same time, which makes sense. But honestly, I would rather everyone get it a little bit different timing and not have to pay like $50 of shipping, because that's a little bit like really insane. So like I said, normal shipping, only £10, not too bad in the grand scheme of things. Although I will say, if there's a few things you're wanting to order, I would definitely bundle the order if you are located outside of the UK. So the next thing I want to talk about is when the collection is available, and it is currently available for pre-order. They also have the option right now where you can pre-order it for December, and it comes with free gift wrapping. I'm not really sure what that entails. I'm not sure when in December, although I know that they did mention that they are going to have like the official launch, I think is the second week of November, and then they will have a restock on December 30th. So there's a little bit of time in between there, so just letting you know. I thought it was actually really cool that they were super open, like this is when our restock date is going to be, because you never see that with brands. It's always like, I don't know, it feels secretive. So I thought that was cool, and I wanted to let you guys know. Alright, so now let's talk about what's actually happening in this palette. So as you can see, there are 18 shades total, and each shade contains 3 grams of product, or about 0.11 ounces. So I went ahead and calculated that for you guys, and the total amount is about 2 ounces for the entire palette, which is personally, I tend to remember ounces more than grams. And then as far as grams, there are 54 grams of product. There is a lot here. It's going to take a while to get through. It makes sense because Louise is a makeup academy, and these products are made with makeup artists in mind. So obviously you want to have more product. A makeup artist is going to go through product faster. Just for comparison really quickly, because these are a pretty similar price point, the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette has 12 shades in it and has a total of 0.6 ounces. And then like I said, this has 18 shades and nearly 2 ounces of product. So you can see that even though it is a similar price, you get a lot more product. All 18 shades in this palette are completely 100% matte shades. No satin, no like secret sheens, all completely matte. So you can probably see that there is a wide variety of colors here, but I would definitely say that this is mostly a pink toned palette with a few pops of brown, some pops of orange, a pop of teal, a pop of yellow, and a pop of purple, but everything else besides that is pretty pink. I know I mentioned quite a few pops, which is because it is a pretty colorful palette, but I feel like if you've been looking for the perfect pinky burgundy palette, you will definitely find all the shades that you need here. So for me personally, I love bright eyeshadow, and I'm really inspired by this palette, so I love the color scheme. So as far as lasting power, I have not had any problems at all. Every time I use this palette, I use the Louise base in shade 0.5. It is just my Holy Grail eyeshadow primer, and I have not had any problems with creasing, fading, the color just losing vibrancy, nothing like that. Although I will say that that's not a problem that I have very often. I feel like color really sticks to my face very well, and I don't feel it fade very much throughout the day. It has to be a really bad palette to not stay on my eyes. So I did want to mention that, although it's not something I really have a problem with. I also wanted to mention that I have not experienced any staining with these eyeshadows. I know sometimes I've used different pinks and purples and got a little bit of stainage on the lids, which I don't mind normally, because you know, you could just cover it up with a little bit of concealer, but I have not had that problem with this palette. Alright, so as far as my pros for the palette, I just have to say the quality of the eyeshadows all around, I truly enjoy and I like working with them. They are extremely pigmented, and I feel like they're super easy to just kind of pack on the lid and then blend out. I have done both blending techniques where I go from the darkest shade and blend upwards to the lightest shade. Like the darkest is the first I go in with, which is more of like the Louise way. It's more popular in the UK. And then I've also done it where it was like the light, I start off with the lightest shade, medium, build to dark, going down, and I had no problems blending. So I think that either way that you do your eyeshadow, it'll still work. Although I will say that I really like the way that the Louise is a little bit more the Louise technique, because I feel like it looks even more pigmented and the colors just really stay true to themselves. So I really like the formulation. I feel like it's super easy to blend. The only thing I would say, okay, As far as easy to blend, I will mention something. Like, for example, like some of the brown shades I had this problem with a little bit more. When you first put it on your eye, you kind of have to build it up before you blend it out. I feel like if you just go in with a tiny little bit amount of product, it can look a little bit patchy, but if you just add a little bit more, blend a little bit more, it does solve very easily. One more pro that I had to mention, although I really like the shade selection all around, I think that they're all beautiful, all the pops of colors are nice, I just wanted to give a little extra love to one color in particular, this really deep purple right here. I believe it is called Addicted. Yes, that is, it can be extremely hard to find a purple, a super vibrant pigmented purple that blends really easily. It's purples, people say it all the time that purples are hard to formulate, but I seriously agree that I mean, I make the different purples that I have work, but this one was just such a dream to do, like, or to work with. It blended so easily, it was so pigmented, I didn't feel like I had to keep going back in, blending, go back in, blend, like it did not blend away at all. It was just such a dream to work with, such a beautiful purple. So if you have been looking for the perfect, like, vibrant purple shade, this one right here really is nice. I will say that on camera it shows up more cobalt blue. I've noticed that in my videos so far. It's kind of strange, but in person it is very, very clearly a bright purple. So now we're going to move on to a few different cons, nothing super serious, but I did want to mention really quickly. First of all is the packaging, and I personally don't mind that it is super chunky. It is a very, very thick palette, and it's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's very luxurious, it's very beautiful, it's nice to look at. I think it'll be, I was trying to like figure out somewhere like behind me to like put this on display because I do think it's beautiful. My problem definitely lies in the fact that it is so annoying to open, like especially like I cannot put this on my like desk right now in front of me because, well, frankly it's my own fault because I'm a mess and I just have stuff everywhere. So I've had to like close it, open it, close it, open it, and like I said, maybe that's my own fault, but it does get stuck pretty easily and I like find myself constantly having to like tear it apart. So that's a little bit frustrating. Like I really wish that there was a nicer like little, like just a little clasp here or something. Like I wish it was magnetic or something to make it easier to pull up rather than, you know, it is a box, so it's kind of, that's kind of annoying. And then the other thing is just that the mirror is really, really bad quality. Maybe you don't care, I personally don't care that much because I'm like, nah, it's a mirror. Like I don't travel that often. I wish I did. I really wish I had the lifestyle where I could complain that this palette doesn't have a great mirror in it. But the thing with this mirror is I'm not sure if it's because of the packaging right here, because it kind of feels bubbled up a little bit. It's a little bit round, so when you look in it your face is a little bit distorted like a funhouse mirror, and I mean I really don't know how you could fix that. Yeah, oh my gosh. You can actually press down on it and it looks really funny, like it looks like an Instagram filter. Sorry, I get easily distracted, but I will say, like, I don't know if you guys are even going to be able to tell. Maybe you can see that the, like, actually I think you can tell there that the ring light is like, my ring light is perfectly round and this mirror is making it look like a little bit funky. So that is one downside. Alright, so really quickly, I wanted to do some comparisons within the palette because I did see your guys' feedback and a lot of you commented that you thought a lot of the shades in the palette looked like they were repeating themselves, and there were some shades that were a little bit too similar to justify having them both in the palette. And I think I see where you're coming from, especially like online, they look a lot more similar, but in person I can really distinguish the different variances in the colors. I think that the ones that look the most similar overall are these two very salmony pinks right here, although I will say that they swatch differently, and I'm gonna go ahead and really quickly just show you guys some comparison swatches. I'm not gonna keep holding up the palette, so I'll just show you what I'm gonna swatch really quickly. So I'm gonna swatch these two salmon pinks next to each other so you can see the difference. I'm gonna swatch these two very bright reds next to each other so you can see the difference. I'm gonna swatch these two oranges next to each other so you can see the difference. And then probably this pink and this pink next to each other so you can see the difference. And the probably this this shade right here and this shade right here. I feel like they're pretty different, but they might look similar online. Alright, so first off, this is the shade Amore, and this is the shade S&M. And I don't know how much you guys are going to be able to tell on camera, but when you build them up in person, you can definitely tell that Amore is a lot more peachy, and S&M is a lot more of a true pink shade. Alright, so next we have Rendezvous and Velvet Kiss, and I feel like these ones are a little bit more obvious, but Rendezvous is more of a true red, and it does have just a touch of an orange undertone to it, and then Velvet Kiss is a very, very pink toned red. Alright, so next here are the two orange shades. This one is Bow Down, and this one is Dreamy. I feel like the difference is pretty obvious when you swatch them. They look a little bit more similar in the pan, but swatched next to each other, you can tell that Bow Down is a lot more of a deeper orange shade. Here are the most like true pink shades in the palette. This first one here is Infatuation, and it's more of a Barbie pink. And then next we have Idolize, and it's a little bit more of a deeper toned pink shade. Very, very pretty, and it's not quite as pigmented as the others. It's a little bit softer, more of like a transition shade I would use it for. And then this last one is in Lust, and it's definitely more of like a deep burgundy-ish pink. Alright, so next for the two deepest shades in the palette, we have Love Struck and Love Shy. Love Struck is more of a deep brown, Love Shy is a deep plum. And then the two medium tone shades, we have, what is this, Pleasure and Obsession. And you can see Pleasure is obviously like a pink tone, and Obsession is a very warm brown. Alright, so just one more thing to talk about in this video, and I wanted to do some quick comparisons of the P. Louise Secret Center palette to some other palettes that I own, or maybe you own, so that you can get an idea of how much you need or don't need the new palette. So first off, I have some from Certified Cosmetics, and cannot speak to the quality of these at all. I just wanted to show you the color. I have not gotten the chance to play with these yet. So first is the Tropical Wonders palette. So there you can see, I feel like there's a few shades, like the yellows, the orange, red, maybe one purple, and that's about it here that are similar, which I feel like yellow, orange, red is a very, very common color scheme right now. And then next I just have the Destiny palette, which I feel like some of the bright reds are similar, but that's about it here. Maybe some of the browns. Alright, so next I have the Viseart Editorial Mattes palette, which is way more expensive than the P. Louise one. And there are a few similar colors, like the yellow, orange, red, pink. And purples aren't quite the same tones. So I feel like that is it here. Alright, so next I was asked to compare this one. This is from Ace Beauty. It's the Blossom Passion palette. And I feel like I don't even know how to describe how they are not completely the same, but the Blossom Passion palette has a lot more shimmers, and I feel like the shades that are similar are different different finishes. So I feel like overall there's really not any repeating shades here. Here is another like pinky color scheme. I feel like overall the P. Louise one is super bright, and the Lime Crime Venus XL is definitely more of a like grungy berry palette. Alright, so next we have the Zulu palette from Juvia's Place, which I did do swatches comparing these two because there are a lot of similar shades. The only shades that are not similar in here are the shimmers, the three shimmers, and the like teal shade, but everything else has a very, very similar color to it. And I feel like if you are kind of looking at the colors in the P. Louise palette and you already have the Zulu palette, this is kind of like a mini version without the expansion of pinks. If you want a ton of pinks, P. Louise is the way to go, but this one has just the basic pops of color that are in here. Alright, so next I just wanted to mention my little Sugar Pill palette here, which you can see in comparison there are actually quite a few shades here as well that are very comparable. And the crazy thing is, like, I like Sugar Pill and I feel like they definitely work better on the eyes, but they do not swatch well at all. So you can see in the picture that the P. Louise palette swatches so much better, and really, really vibrant colors. Very, very comparable here. And this little palette by itself is like $60. Alright, so next I was also asked to compare the original P. Louise palette to the new one. And I will say that there are a few similar colors here, but overall the new one is a lot more bright. And you can get like maybe one or two neutral looks out of this, but overall the old one is definitely more of a wearable warm neutral palette, whereas this one is a lot more fun, more colorful. Like I said, a few color similarities, but overall, again, the P. Louise palette, this one does not swatch as well as it performs. I really like the way this performs on the eyes, but you can tell just overall that the new palette is just a touch better. They both have some shades that are a little bit drier to the touch, but the pigmentation and blendability is super nice. So there's that. And this is on sale right now. It's being discontinued. I think it's currently 20 pounds. I really like it. I like every look that I've done with it, so it makes me really sad that it's being discontinued. Okay, so last but not least is the palette that I found the most similar to the new P. Louise palette. This one had quite a few really similar shades. So this is the BePerfect Cosmetics x Stacey Marie Carnival palette, and here is the P. Louise palette, which is so heavy. I'm like, oh, these palettes are both pretty chunky, but I don't know if you guys can tell right away, but there's a lot of similar colors here. There's a lot of similar browns, a peach tone, orange, pink, red, teal, purple, so lots of similarities here. It's pretty crazy. I feel like the main difference is that the new P. Louise palette really expands on the pink, and this one has a lot of the same similarities in color and like pops of color, but basically it does expand on the neutrals a little bit. It has shimmers, and it also has a lot more blue options, and then of course the two highlighters at the bottom. So I feel like you could get a lot of the same looks out of the BePerfect Cosmetics palette as you would the P. Louise palette, but the P. Louise palette, I feel like there's a lot of looks that you would not be able to get with this one that you could get with the BePerfect one, because there's more shades here, and these are pretty similar price points, and I like the formulas of both, so it's kind of hard to say which one is better. But I really like the unique, like how all the different pinks in here really speak to me, so hard to decide, but I wanted to show you guys so you can decide for yourself. Alright, so that is everything for this review video. I hope I answered all of your questions, but if you do have any more, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And once again, like I said, I will have a week of the P. Louise Secret Center palette up on Friday, so you guys can see that. I love filming those, and then I will also have the looks that I've already done using it linked down below in case you're interested. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!